Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the DMI ADX indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched our first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that now. At the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below. You can also find a link to sign up for TradingView down below. If you use the link below, you will save a little bit of money. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform. On our Discord server, we are having great conversations about all things regarding trading. One of the biggest struggles on this channel is people who use other platforms like MT4 being able to follow along. Sometimes it can be hard to find the indicators we are using on other platforms. And so on our Discord server, I have created a channel for indicator creation. And on that channel, I pinned links to freelancers who can code indicators for MT or for TradingView. So if you don't want to create a TradingView account, you can hire a freelancer for a really small fee and have them code an indicator for the MT platform. Or if you are on TradingView and need an indicator created, something unique or an indicator for a system you have developed, you can also have them code PineScript. So use the link for either MT4 coding or use the link for PineScript. Lastly, I get a lot of people that are asking me for the entire list of all the winning indicators that we have tested to date. And whereas I am not a big proponent of gatekeeping information, I've put a lot of time and effort into creating the content on my YouTube channel. And so I don't think it is too much to ask for the viewers to go through and view the content that I've spent a lot of time creating. Now, if you are not interested in supporting our channel by going back and watching the content that I have created, then I have developed a solution for you. I've created a Patreon account. I will put a link to it down below in the description. If you sign up for Patreon and you sign up for the $9 a month account, I will send you the full list of tested and winning indicators to date. I will also send you an updated list of the indicators that we are testing at the end of each week. Now, of course, you have to stay subscribed to the $9 monthly subscription, to continue to receive the updated list of indicators. But that way it will provide me with the support that I need to continue to provide the free content that I am putting out for everybody to view. Now, if you just love the channel in general and want to support us, then there is also a lower, I think $3 Patreon subscription that you can sign up for that will also help support the channel and keep things going, so that way I can continue to produce the content and the open information that we are creating here in this channel and in our Discord server. Again, if you have not signed up for our Discord, then you need to do that as well. It is a absolutely free platform where we have real-time ability to chat and have conversations about trading. And again, if you want to support the channel with Patreon, then you can find the link down below in the description. All right, as I said, today we will be testing the DMI ADX indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So, to date, we have tested 188 indicators. And out of those 188 indicators, 75 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 75 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. All right, so today's indicator is the DMI BB indicator. It's actually quite a longer name, so I think it's the colored directional movement plus Bollinger Band indicator, if I'm not mistaken. Colored directional movement plus Bollinger Band clouds is what the technical name for it is. That's the full name of it. You can see it here on screen. It's quite an interesting indicator. Never quite seen one like this before. At first glance, it doesn't appear to be that abnormal. You can see here that it has the Bollinger Band type look to it. Beyond that, it doesn't look that, kind of different than most of the other indicators, like Bollinger Band or Donchian channels. There's quite a few of them out there. Any of the channeled indicators looks pretty similar to a lot of them. But it's actually using the directional momentum, the directional movement indicator, I think is what it is. I can't remember if it's the actual. So the directional movement, I think it's the directional movement index, I think is what sometimes it is listed as well. And then on top of that, it also uses the ADX. And so that is the average directional index as well. And so it kind of combines all these and meshes all these together to create this overall indicator that we have here. Now again, looking at it, it doesn't look that different than some of the other indicators that we've tested. And so what I find unique about it is that it actually has this picture window type setup right here. And if you hover over it, you can kind of see, give some information and so on. But as it is going along, this is actually changing and giving us different calculations and also giving us whether or not we are in a trend one direction or another. Might be a little bit difficult for you to kind of see what I'm talking about or envision what I'm talking about. But you'll see here in a moment when we start back testing this indicator, you'll kind of see more about what it is that makes this a little bit more unique and how it gives signals. So this box actually right here, this window, is where we actually get our signals from. And so we're not really looking at much back here as far as what's happening on price action with the bands or so on. We're just paying attention to this window pane and the information that it's giving us. And really, it will display whether it is in a, I forget off the top of my head, I think it either says downtrend or uptrend. Let's see, bullish trend, no trend, yellow, weak trend. Yeah, so it tells us bullish trend or a bearish trend. And those are going to be our signals to go long or to go short. It also changes colors. This window right here changes colors. And so basically what we're doing is we're just waiting for this window to give us information as it's making the calculations of what the indicator is doing. So it kind of takes the guesswork away from, or the legwork away from what we have to do. We just have to wait for it to give us a signal. Like I said, when it gives us a bullish trend, it is a buy signal. And when it gives us a bearish trend, that's going to be a sell signal. And again, we'll see a little bit more here in detail when we start playing it forward, exactly what I mean by that. So with all that being said, let's get on with it and see what we can get out of this. So we're moving along, and you can see here, it now starts to change and give us some kind of readings here telling us whether we are in a bearish trend or a bullish trend. Currently, it says it is in a bearish trend, and so we should be going short, and that is how we are going to look at it now. Let's go ahead and mark off this area, and then we'll play it forward and see what happens. So unfortunately, looks like that ends up being a losing trade, and then we'll go ahead and continue forth here. You see it's no trade, no trade. It's just riding along here, not really doing much, not giving us any kind of signal whether we should be going short or long. And again, it's changing colors, and if you hover over this box, it gives you an idea. A weak trend is yellow, and so I believe you would have to go back and look at the page for this indicator. It has a lot of descriptions on how exactly you can use some of the other pieces of this, but it does not appear to me that a weekly trend is really giving us much information as far as whether we should be going short or we should be going long. And so we just kind of ignore that piece and keep moving on here. There we go. We picked up a bearish trend right there. So we'll go ahead and mark that off. We'll keep an eye on it, play it forward here, and see what we get out of it. Let's see, 90 pips is our stop. It looks like it turned around and went against us pretty quick. Still hasn't stopped us out yet, and has not hit take profit either. So we'll just keep an eye on it here. Let's check it there. Nope. Still no take profit and still no stop. Just hovering right in the middle of those two areas. That might have finally stopped us out. Yeah, right there on that one. So another trade, and unfortunately a losing trade at that. Get another bearish trend right there, and we'll mark it off and keep an eye on it once again. Ooh, interesting. Looks like we skipped a signal. Hold on one second here. Let's see. So we run up over here. Fortunately, we got stopped out on that one. picked up a bullish. I know it was hard to see, but it switched green for just a moment on this candle, giving us a bullish trend. And then unfortunately, almost immediately, it switched and went bearish trend on us, giving us a short signal. To be right here on this one. And it looks like that will be first winning trade, getting us to take profit. We'll continue on here. Just keep playing it forward. Right there, we pick up a bullish trend. That one right there. Again, we'll just keep an eye on it, see what it does. It does eventually get us to take profit there. Then it falls out on us rather quick. Then we get another bullish trend signal pops up right here. Keep an eye on that one also, see what it does. And that one also gets us to take profit. So we're picking up a little bit more signals now, doing a little bit better. Carry on with it here. No signal at the moment. And again, this indicator just seems a little bit more unique than any other indicator that I've seen, especially with this box right here kind of giving us direction on kind of what's happening in the market. It's telling us what kind of trend is currently taking place, giving us other calculations as well. Now, whether or not it can get us to a profitable win rate, that is another question. We'll see once we're done here. Calculate these up a little bit more. It's riding along, nothing yet. Still no signal. And it looks like we are at the end of the year. All right, so there we have it. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 signals altogether, and unfortunately only 3 winning trades. And so that is not going to meet the 60% criteria. This indicator was, again, rather interesting. It was a fascinating indicator. Seems like by its nature, though, it might be better suited for more kind of reversal trading. And it's kind of no surprise because it is also based around Bollinger Band system. And when we tested the Bollinger Band, if I remember right, the way we tested it was as a reversal. And so what we would look for is for price action to come up into, technically it would be the band itself, but in this case, the cloud. So it seems to be coming up into the cloud. And what they call this little kind of shaded, green shaded and red shaded area, the Bollinger Band cloud. And so it seems like price action is coming up into the Bollinger Band cloud, kind of riding it for a moment, and then having a pullback, pretty, pretty often. Uh, it it's just one of those things where, again, the nature of Bollinger Band is that often it's used. I mean, I know there's a couple schools of thought. Some say that the Bollinger Bands are used for kind of identifying trend direction, and so as the price action comes up into the band or down into the band, that is a sign of momentum. But in my opinion, I've always noticed that more often than not, you get reversals as price gets up towards or down towards the bands when it comes to a Bollinger Band. An overextension of price movement, and that wants to have a correction back to kind of the center line. And so, yeah, it's an interesting indicator, to say the least. I kind of looked at it for a little bit, didn't really play around with it much, but I thought it would do a little bit better than it did. But I guess I shouldn't really be surprised that it's, again, kind of going against the nature of Bollinger Band. I feel like maybe if you reversed the signals instead of, when it hits a bearish trend, be on the lookout for signs of a reversal back to the upside, and when it hits a bullish trend, be on the lookout for signs of a reversal back to the downside. It's possible that you could have some better success with it in that kind of instance. But even at that, it doesn't give signals all that often, and so you might be better off just looking for price action to come into these shaded areas. Again, often it comes down into the shaded area and then has a correction back to the center line, comes down, hits the shaded area, correction back to the center line, and it just kind of does that over and over. And so, not a bad idea for kind of spotting reversals, or even one thing that we also, it's kind of common to run into, is that the timing of the indicator that we're using is slightly off. And so there are indicators that get us in really quick into a new trend, and that can be good and that can be bad. It can be good as in you're getting in early when the price does go your direction, when the trade or the trend does go your direction. You're getting in at very low risk, high reward, but you will find that that comes with kind of a curse of getting stopped out more often. Then you'll have some indicators that get you in really late into a trend, like more than halfway into the long, leg of the trend that is taking place. And so that can be, problematic as well. It's definitely allowing more confirmation, more time for the trend to be confirmed that it's actually a trend going in that direction. But on the reverse side, you're losing a lot of your profit because you're waiting so long to get into the move. And so you're costing yourself a good deal of, value overall. And then there are some indicators that get you in almost, it seems like, and I've seen a few of these and I've called them out whenever it happens. Seems like right as it's giving you a signal, it's not too early, it hasn't waited too long, but it's right at that point to where quite often a reversal is taking place, a correction. And so you get, trend heading in a specific direction, and it goes that direction for a little ways, and then often it will have a pullback before it then continues back in that direction. Now the problem with that is if you jump in right as that pullback is taking place, then what you'll find is that price action in the pullback comes down and stops you out, just to turn around and take back off in the direction you wanted it to go. And so that can be problematic as well. Again, the price action works in waves. It often comes it will come down, it will start to take off, and then it will have a pullback. It takes off again, has a pullback, takes off again, has a pullback. And it will continue to do this, kind of stair-stepping its way up as it's taking a long leg in a specific direction. So this area right here, for example, a decent little leg, a decent little uptrend that took place right there. And you can see here that by the time you get a really clear confirmation that this is an uptrend starting to take place, you get this strong pullback that takes place right here. And so if you were to enter the trade on this candle right here, this reversal, I guess it wouldn't be a reversal, but this pullback candle right there, then it is very likely that you would have gotten stopped out. Well, it didn't hit the 90 pips, but that's an example of what I mean. If you get in really early down here, you can get a good leg of the trend up before it starts to have its first pullback. And it's kind of hard to get that timing correct. But again, what you'll find is that there are some indicators that seem to always get you in right at the point where a pullback's taking place. And then it's, here's a good example again over here. And this is a really strong pullback right here. So this might be a better example of that. But you see that, price action takes this decent little move to the downside here. Definitely enough for you to get in and get some pips. And then you see that right here on this move, it has a really strong correction. And this is probably almost exactly at the 50% retracement, Fibonacci retracement from here to here. And so you see this a lot. Let's see if I can. So go from there to there. And then I'm going to go in and turn off a whole bunch of these and just leave the 50%. There we go. And the 0. There we go. And so you see that that was, again, almost exactly at the 50% retracement from this point to this point. We could probably drag it down even to that point. So the entire move right there. This is a lot going on, but even from this move to this move, that entire move, this was a 50% retracement that took place from this point here to this point here. And when it hit the 50% retracement, it bounced back really quick. And so when it bounced back really quick, it made a really strong move back to the upside. And that was 140 pips. And so if your indicator had gotten you in right here, if it would have waited to really confirm that this was a downtrend taking place and got you in, say, on the close of this really big red candle, you would have been in a lot of hurt when this thing hit the 50% retracement and then pulled itself back really strong up in here. And you would have most definitely gotten stopped out at a loss just to watch the price action take back off in your direction. And so again, we'll see often that indicators, well, I wouldn't say often, but we see our fair share of indicators that do that get you in. They kind of wait and stall out and wait until it really confirms that the trend is taking place. And then when it finally gets you in, it's almost always right as price is making a strong pullback and will stop you out for a loss just to have price action go back in your direction. And, what would have been a winning trade now becomes a losing trade. And so this is a good example of one of those indicators that right as it's giving you a bearish trend confirmation, it is then almost immediately reversing and having a strong pullback. So this could, in theory, be used on top of a trading system to kind of filter out or look for those areas where your system might be getting you in at a point that is very likely to have a strong pullback. And if this indicator says that, it's giving you a bearish trend or a bullish trend, you might avoid taking an entry on your system at that point, knowing that you might have a strong correction or a strong pullback coming in the very near future. So just a thought, just another way that you can implement indicators. It doesn't always have to be a entry indicator, a confirmation indicator, a momentum or volume indicator, and an exit indicator. There can be other indicators also that you throw into the mix just to make sure, like indicators that work specifically well at doing this one thing, like this right here, like a Bollinger Band, where we know that, or an RSI, where we know that when it hits those extremes to one side or another, that a reversal is very likely to take place. And if you are getting a signal to go long right as it's hitting the uppermost extreme, then you know that you might want to wait and see if a pullback takes place, getting you a better entry before jumping in and letting it ride to the upside. And then, of course, you would flip that in reverse for the downside. So just a thought, just an idea of another way to, kind of analyze the market and understand what you might be getting yourself into before you jump into a trade. So with all that being said, this one's going to go on the no list, and we will move on to the next indicator from here.
If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView, and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, alright everybody, I will see you on the next video.